college
Yeah,
football. Yeah, so
crazy weekend.
week seven of college football. Hmm. hmm
I actually got to watch a couple of these games, so it was
Yeah.
really good weekend in football. Like for background, so college football was what actually got me into American football altogether. I started watching it in high school when I moved to the school in the States, and I watched it all through college. I went to Syracuse, which was a big football sports school overall. So really got into it. Like for me, it was always that building up to who are going to make it to the NFL, see them before they break out into the NFL. And yeah, there were a lot of like great players that were on display.
Seems like
Um,
they actually like translate to the next level.
yeah. I mean, you see, basically, it's like I mean, soccer where you see like youth players developing and then they break it into the first team. That's what sort of college football is, but on a bigger scale. So the Alabama South Carolina game was really entertaining. I mean, poor showing for Alabama, but it was really exciting to see, the back and forth.
Yeah.
I think the Oregon Ohio State game was also really good. Uh, just solid quarterback play from both sides. Great defense. Just, I mean, really competitive. Like you can see both games, like they literally went down to the wire. This isn't soccer where you have 1 point kind of situation and 7 points. So for them to be so close, like it was a really
Yeah.
tough game for both teams. Mm.
Yeah.
What else?
I
Did
agree.
you watch any other game?
I watched the Alabama game, and honestly, I'm not very impressed. Like, I know they won. Excuse me. So they won the game, and they're now 5-1. But honestly, like, they were leading 14-0 at some point, and in the last 2-3 minutes of the first half, they gave up 12 points and went in at halftime 14-12. And I mean, like, next thing, come out second half and they concede again, touchdown. They are losing 19-14. And yes, um, they came back, but if it wasn't for the recovery of like a botched onside kick, right? Like, I don't think like so they botched an onside kick, like, and the um South Carolina guy threw an interception, and that was how the game ended. Like, if that guy didn't throw that interception, like, they really could have scored, and like
Yeah, lost the
that would
game.
have been it, like 4 and
No, that
2. Like,
that
hmm,
onside kick was crazy. It was actually so
I don't
crazy
know.
because that literally just shot it at the at the guy and
Like, I
it
didn't
just
I didn't
bounced
think
off.
I didn't think losing Nick Saban was going to have like this kind of an impact immediately on like the way the team is, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the standards have really like just drastically gone down. Like,
They lost a couple of players. Like I think there was a safety that went to Ohio State, sophomore that is starting right there. And again, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about this later on, but
yeah,
I just
definitely.
wanted to call out that, the Ohio State Oregon game, there was like a really interesting dynamic. So Oregon has been a up and coming team like for like the past I'd say for much of my time watching college football, like that, they would be on my screen behind. If not, I fell off in terms of college football. But they were the team I always watched. They had this coach called Chip Kelly, who was like crazy, like offensive genius, um, super like pacey, like style of play. Like they never used to like huddle or like every single play they would just go again and again and again, and that's how they won. But funny enough, he was the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. And the guy who was the head coach for Ohio State used to be his own offensive coordinator when he was in the NFL, coaching for the San Francisco 49ers. So it's funny, like him at a higher level was his Oga, but the roles are reversed and he's now offensive coordinator. And it was just really good. Like you could see how he was trying to make them play fast and his overall like um footballing philosophy was being imprinted on Ohio State against his former team where he made his name and everything. So that was very interesting dynamic to watch.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it didn't work out. So Oregon with the win.
I saw a bit of the Georgia game. Carson Beck, yeah, really good game. Really good game for Carson Beck. 459 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like that's a big deal. One of the Heisman guys as well. Uh, we'll see how that conversation develops through the season. Your boy, the Boise State guy, Ashton Jinsey, scored a touchdown for Boise State against Hawaii. Easy game for them, obviously.
It's
And my
200
boss,
plus yards.
yeah, yeah, I mean, he's currently on track to match what's his name's record, Barry Sanders' record.
Sanders.
So
Yeah,
we'll see how that one goes as well. My boys lost.
it was
Quite unfortunate.
inevitable.
Quite unfortunate.
There goes
Quite,
your playoff chances.
quite unfortunate. Like, I mean, he really could have swung it that way, right? But I think uh they gave up too many points than they should have. And yes, Travis Hunter getting injured didn't help because it's a big part of the offense and defense. But no excuses really.
So, like I said, we talked about this, and I've been telling him that I don't think this Hunter guy is like an elite wide receiver. I think he's a good, he can be an elite cornerback, but he cannot be a top wide receiver in the league. And my thing about
That's
it
the
was
league.
not
That's the league.
my thing about it was never about his ability to catch the ball, run with the ball, and things like that. It's more like how he's built. The guy is like a very lanky, skinny guy that is super athletic, super like crazy stamina and everything. But when you're trying to play wide receiver, like you're getting hit, you're getting hit by big men, you're having to take a pounding and things like that. So he's not doesn't have that body type. So I just always thought that that was going to be his limitation, and it's shown because he's gotten hurt again playing offense. He doesn't get hurt playing defense because yeah, you do get hurt playing defense. Like you can hit somebody and you get hurt, but just in essence, like the physiques of cornerbacks are usually slender, slimmer players and like a little bit more fragile compared to other players in the league. Might
Fair
just
enough.
be time for him to focus. Yeah, apologies for that interruption. But yeah, like we're talking a little bit about like college football and just highlighting again the scores. I just wanted to point out like again, the a lot of these games were really close. Your Bama was 2 points, your LSU Ole Miss 3 points, Oregon, Ohio State 1 point. Even the Buffs game was pretty close. And this just highlights something that has been changing a lot in the whole NCAA in terms of teams being more competitive. Like during the time when I was watching it, there were clear cuts, number one and number two, and then you had your three and four who were going to make it into the playoffs, but those guys were like a cut below um those top ranked teams. And again, yeah, we have to attribute a lot of this balance in between the NIL because players are being incentivized to move to different places, not just to start and potentially make it into the NFL, but to get cash like right away. So yeah, I mean it's definitely switched up the game. What do you think about it so far? Is it positive? Is it negative, Shay?
Yeah, for sure. For me, like it's a very positive move. Um, I feel like players are the heart of like everything that happens in college football, and the schools make a shit ton of money, right? Players don't get any of that money. Like there's no revenue sharing yet, but at least like based on like name, image, and likeness, the players can sign deals with like different companies and get sponsors and stuff like that, earn some money before they make it to the pro level. If they make it to the pro level, because really and
True.
truly, it's not guaranteed, right? So this is probably all the money some people are going to make from sports in their life. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like there are a lot of like old college football players, like a lot of these guys that hold records. Some of them never actually made it to the league because they got so used up in college football. I mean, college unlike the NBA where you can go in the NBA after 1 year you can go and declare and enter the league, cash out kind of situation. College you have to play a minimum of 3 years. So there's a lot of burnouts, injuries, a lot of like situations where you can dip in form and things like that. So I think it's definitely an equilibrium. And your team, the Buffs, have definitely, risen to from nowhere to being known
Yeah.
as a team based on
All
that.
cause of NIL, man. An
The
unranked team.
highest paid
Someone like
player,
Shador never would have joined them, to be fair.
highest paid player in the whole of college football plays for the Buffs. I mean, he's also done a lot to bring that notoriety to the team and fame, celebrities and things like that. But there's like a balance between you being that kind of player and I'm just there's so many older players that Reggie Bush, those kind of guys that your Johnny Manziel, those like Johnny Manziel, like he went to the NFL but crashed out. Realistically, his college career
Mm-hmm.
was way bigger than his NFL career. Could have made so much more money. So it's definitely a great thing and equilibrium for competitiveness. We'll see it play out in the new expanded NCAA championship model that they're doing, playoffs that they're doing at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to be good.